What's up, Rockstars? Welcome to another news video. This one is going to be covering a ton of different stuff. There's some controversy on a few different things, some like sneaky kind of launching under another name to like swindle more people. Like it's messy. There's some really cool things coming up. There's some big announcements. There's a lot of great stuff in store for you in this one. Thank you to my channel sponsor, Into the AM. Support the channel and get an awesome premium shirt I designed with them by using the link in the description below to purchase Eternal Guardian. From the lopsided crown, wolves, Norse throne, and more, this shirt is spectacular, and you can save 10% off when buying this fantastic shirt. Check it out and many other awesome shirts via the link down below. Now, as always, a huge shout out to my patrons and YouTube members. It is through their financial support that this channel is possible. If you appreciate the content that I make every single week for you guys, and you can give even $1 a month, there's a link in the description below. Thank you so much. And who knows, maybe at some point I'll fix the squeaky chair. Let's go ahead and talk. I'm actually going to show you a Facebook group first. This is a new Facebook group that kind of launched. I think it's actually by like some game devs or something like that. But either way, they do a lot of giveaways. So I'm going to link down to this below. If you're interested in winning different things like anything from Cthulhu Death May Die to Age of Rome to Legacy of Thorax to Theosis, there's a whole bunch here that they do. I think they use Gleam mostly for it, but either way, that is linked down below. Go ahead and check it out, see if there's anything interesting that you want to enter in, and best of luck. Ideally, every single person that ends up winning something is from this community, right? Right. All right. So moving on from that, we have the Dark Quarter. This is doing quite well, almost at 600,500 or 5,500 plus backers, 18 days to go. So they are doing immensely well. This is Lucky Ducks and Van Ryder's like latest thing. It's kind of like their past games, very app driven, right? It does like a whole lot of like criminal cases and stuff like that where you go and you get clues and you ask questions and you do all this kind of stuff with like a supernatural New Orleans Nor kind of twist thing going on. Game Brigade, a friend of mine, he did a review of it. I'll link down into the description that review so you can check that out and see if it's something for you. Sadly, not something for me. It sounds very too straightforward and a little too casual for my taste when it comes to like the strategy, right? The really thinking about your actions, stuff like that. It just seems more of a casual affair, which isn't something, oh, look at that. What is that, right? What's going on there? Anyway, yeah, so there's a lot though here that they've added and all sorts of fun stuff. So feel free to check it out below. Again, there's a link to the Kickstarter itself. There's that review you can look at. There's a lot of info there, and I'm sure they have a lot of reviews listed here as well. So that is the Dark Quarter. Next up, we have Escape from Stalingrad Z. This one is actually interesting. It's by Raybox Games, and I didn't recognize him at first, but I remember covering this right here, the Legions of Steel. They did this kind of thing, which had like a huge cult. Well, I don't say huge, a cult following. That kind of allowed that to be a thing, which is kind of cool. It's like a sci-fi skirmish game, essentially. This is something that is book-based, right? That has all these kind of minis in it. It's like a Call of Duty zombie game, but with like Russia, I think. And there's a lot of different price points, actually. So they reached out and kind of spoke about this, but there's a lot of different add-ons. You can get a lot of different things. So like the book set, $36. Well, look at $30. Let's do USD. So let's do real money. $50 for the box set. And then you get the deluxe set for $180. But there's a whole lot of $480 for like, I mean, it gets like crazy, right? There's a lot in there. The all-in, $149, right? So I don't know what this $480 is. That must be like something ridiculous. There's probably a whole lot of special stuff in there. I think I saw something signed. But there's a lot of add-ons and stuff like that you can add and kind of customize what it is you're trying to get, essentially. So feel free to look into this if it's something that interests you. There's not a lot of like zombie World War II askew kind of games, actually. There's a lot of World War II games that are very realistic, and then we have stuff like Reichbusters and stuff like that, but not really zombies. So that's kind of cool. I don't know like the gameplay isn't really shown here in like GIF form or anything like that. I don't really see too much of like a highlights of like how to play. It's mostly just showing the product. So if I had any words of wisdom, it'd be to show the game off more and less of the product, if that makes sense. It's showing the same thing, but one is how you use the product and one is the product itself. So that would be my suggestion there to kind of, just improve on what you already have. Okay, so we have Kingdoms Rise and Fall. Dorian, they actually reached out to me and I didn't see their email until like just now. And at time of recording, it's 4 days. The reason you're seeing this a little bit later is because I am actually on a vacation with my wife up in a cabin in the woods. And so you're getting this a few days later. But this it looks very pretty. It has fantasy. Right? It's got minis, by the way, so calm down, guys. It has like this beautiful fantasy art, but then a really crisp, clean aesthetic to it, which is kind of interesting. Maybe I can, see like this right here. So again, like really clear, justified lines, right? All this text, and then it's like just the art, and then like a color background, right? But it's not like a clear color, like it's or solid color. There's a design there. A ton of different stuff, as you can see, 44 upgrade cards and 66 starter deck cards, 24 resource cards, right? 108 small cards, 301 poker size cards, all these different markers and stuff. There's a lot of stuff here. So feel free to take a look at it and see if it's something that would be interesting to you. I didn't read up into how to play all of this, but they do have a lot of the information here on the page or on the page. So feel free to check it out. And let's see what is the core cost. Looks like it's about $53, which is, I think, a very solid card game expense. And it has a whole bunch of tokens and a board and stuff like that too. So honestly, it looks pretty straightforward. It is fun. It is almost funded. So just about funded. So feel free to check this out if you want to back some kind of pretty much ultra rare indie fantasy card game. That's pretty much what this is. Next up, DC deck building game 10th anniversary. Obviously not the indie version. This is Cryptozoic. They're big. They've been doing this for 10 years. 412,000, 2,400 backers, 25 days ago. So it's a long time to go. It's interesting that they've done so well considering how little reason there is to actually back this. It goes to show that the people that are following this game are really into it, which is like really exciting. Now this is a competitive game, but you can also play it co-op depending on the expansion. There's a few different things. They have a lot of different expansions that put like twists on the game, right? So it's not just like the same game over and over again, if that makes sense, from what I can tell. And there's a lot. Now this is showing kind of like, here's a whole bunch of stuff that they've done. You cannot get all of this right now. A lot of it you can get retail, a lot of it you can get online, a lot of it you can get through the store. They're offering like a subsection of it. My understanding is they're going to offer some bundles later on of the older stuff. But feel free to check online. This Kickstarter beats the price of some things, but some things you can get cheaper, like right now in retail. So, because retail sales and stuff like that, and no shipping and whatnot. So feel free to look at this if you want. There is like the Kickstarter exclusives, like Kickstarter exclusive cover, and there's a Kickstarter exclusive mat and a Kickstarter exclusive box, and stuff like that, which is kind of interesting. There are some Kickstarter exclusive cards, but I think it's this version of it. It actually says Kickstarter as a block on it. And I think what they're going to do, don't quote me on this, but I'm not sure there's a lot Kickstarter exclusive here. Is what I'm saying. And if it is, you're paying a premium for, only a handful of cards. The majority of it is going to be available for you guys. Yeah. So Kickstarter exclusive cover, Kickstarter exclusive boxes. This box is Kickstarter exclusive. The DC Bombshells crossover pack is not. If that makes sense. Be sure to check the wording. The wording is there on purpose, right? This is exclusive to different reward tiers, and again, another cover that's exclusive. But other than that, they're unlocking these. This is like what you can buy that's available. They're getting these Kickstarter exclusive cards, but actually that little green thing there says Kickstarter on it. And I suspect that's really what's exclusive here, because notice these DC Bombshells, right? It also has the Kickstarter exclusive box in it, right? But then it's not. And then here it says, these rivals are Kickstarter exclusive. And maybe it is, maybe it's not. But either way, you're paying a pretty big premium for some just a handful of cards that are exclusive. But if you're really into the game, it makes sense. Or if you just want to get an easy back to like get everything, that works too. So there's a lot here. Like I said, some you can get cheaper, some you can get more expensive. It just depends. Though these have these are only the cards, right? So if you want the rule books, that's these, and it costs extra. So include this in the price when you're looking at it. I was going to instantly back this. I'm not instantly backing it yet. I believe I can get the Injustice for like $27 from Miniature Market. That's pretty darn tempting. It's a lot better than 70. So, and I might just grab something at retail and see if I even like the game first. So 25 days to go. There's plenty of time for you to hop into your car and mosey on down to a friendly local gaming store, support them locally, get a deck or a box of DC deck building game by Cryptozoic Entertainment, play it, see if you like it. If you do, head over to Kickstarter and back this. Or even order it online, have it shipped, plenty of time. You have like a whole month. Like it's a very long campaign. So, we'll see where it goes. And I'll let you know if I do kind of, actually, snipe this one up or not. Next up, we have Aldara. This has 11 days to go. It's doing well. It did fund this time, 281,000. This is by Arcane Minis, and they do some very nice minis. You're going to get a ton of miniatures. They're going to be very nice. This is kind of like it seems to me like a 4X askew game, but with these like minis, that are like, a lot of times you get like a space one or something like that. It almost kind of reminds me a little bit of like Uprising, but it's not. And you have like all these different like airships, I guess is the term. But otherwise, you're gathering resources, you're rolling dice, you're doing all that kind of stuff. This is kind of how the game looks, right? Kind of gives you a little bit of like a Twilight Imperium kind of feel, actually. Now, I'm saying a lot of different games, and that's because I don't know how this plays. I haven't looked into it that much. It's not something I'm going to get. But I wanted to mention it to you guys because it has funded. So now they're just unlocking stretch goals. If this interests you, if this theme is like, oh my gosh, yes, this looks awesome, I want some really high quality minis that go to a cool game, then this might be something that you're interested in because the minis look really nice. And I believe them when I see them. Arkham Minis, from what I've seen, does some pretty good production quality stuff. Next up, Legacy of Thorax, The Awakening. Also funded, also going 11 days to go at time of recording, of course. And this one, again, the same kind of thing where I get that little bit of kind of a 4X kind of feel where you're on the board and you're moving around, but then you're also like, upping your influence, kind of like a diplomacy kind of thing. And then you're doing some combat. Looks like you're building kind of roads or bridges or, there's a lot of info here. This Kickstarter page will tell you everything you need to know. As long as you have the time for it, because there's a lot going on here. You can do all sorts of different things. Like, the more you scroll, the more systems you're going to kind of see, which leads me to believe it's kind of Euro-y. It certainly doesn't seem like some streamlined beer and pretzels game. I can tell you that much. Plus, they have wooden cubes. Definitely Euro. Obviously, there's no other way. But it has minis too, and they look pretty cool. So again, a ton of stuff here. Feel free to look at it and see if you want it or not. It also has a solo mode by David. David seems to be designing like 1,800 solo modes a year at this point. Hopefully they are still all good. Next up, Robotech. I'm actually going to tell you not to back this one, and I'm going to explain why. I showed this off last time, and I didn't realize something that other people did, so you guys let me know. Thank you so much for letting me know. So this Minitech Games, first created, zero-backed. One of the reasons this is so freaking new is because it was obviously started by the same people that did this Dragon Ball Z Smash Battles, the miniature game. You might recall I covered this years ago. And the reason you might have not heard about it since is because it's vaporware. So if you look at like the updates, right, there was a whole lot in 2020 and then it just stopped. And then one in 2021, randomly January, they showed an exhibition and that's it. But again, I can't see because they blocked it to their like 112 backers. So almost nobody can see this. And then lo and behold, suddenly in April 2022, they have some production schedule. This is years later, by the way. And they did the exact same thing where it launched in January, is going to deliver in December of that year. So it's just going to like launch and deliver just like Robotech. But what's going on here, right? Why is this different? Well, if you follow these different things, right? If you follow Kids Logic, here's their website. And oh my gosh, look at this. from Minitech. Oh, look at that. That's the game. It's the same thing, right? It's the same minis. It's the same company. Their Facebook, same thing, right? Even on the Kids Logic thing, they're advertising the game. Hey, back our game, do all this stuff. But they launched a new profile to launch this one, because this other one was kind of mired in this. They had never delivered it, even though they had kind of promised it really early. And in fact, it's ironic. This is not a pledging product. This is a confirmed product. This is 100% going to come. They had their goal was $10. $10 was their goal, because it was guaranteed you're going to get it. And lo and behold, nobody got it. And so, of course, the comments are, hey, I want a refund, and where's my order? How can I get this? Well, yeah, good luck. But now that they launched another company to launch a Kickstarter off of, to do some more IP branding stuff via Robotech, now suddenly there's an update. Oh, there's a production update, which is, who knows what it says, because only 100 people can even freaking read their update. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that they went, with this Minitech Games to kind of launch this way instead, and kind of not tell you about it, right? Nowhere is it going to tell you, oh, by the way, we had a Dragon Ball Z game that totally didn't ever deliver. It's 2 years late, and we stopped updating you, and we just ghosted everybody, and it's still not there, and there's no sign of it. Instead, it just says, oh, you have to be super confident. We have 12 plus years of experience not delivering games, I guess. I don't know. Now, there are people that are they still choose to believe, because there is actual miniatures out. Minitech has done this before. The thing I'd caution about that is this was the same thing. Their whole spiel was that Kids Logic Games has been making these all the time, and that these minis are they've been making them, and they've been selling them, and now this is a miniature game around essentially the products that they typically make, which is exactly the structure of this. It's a game around the miniatures they typically make. So I'm not saying it's 100% scam. I'm not saying you'll never get your game. I'm saying I would suggest you don't back it. There are so many other games to get. And not only that, but Robotech has a terrible knack for Kickstarters, right? We already know that. But seriously, there are so many other games to get, so many other places to put your money, that unless you literally just have money that you don't know what else to do with it, there's nothing else that interests you, or that Robotech is your whole. In fact, even if you're really into Robotech, I'd very much suggest you don't, because it's just going to burn you more when it doesn't. And I'm very afraid it's not going to. It didn't before. And then the moment a company starts launching new company names to launch on Kickstarter and not mentioning their other failures, I get a little sketchy. Plus, anytime I see Robotech on Kickstarter, I get a little sketchy. They don't have a great track record. And nothing I see here lets me believe that this is any farther along than their last one that they didn't deliver, or that this has any other higher chance of delivering it, except that they've at least made more money on this one, because this one was Asia specific, and so it couldn't get nearly as much. But still, it just... yeah, super sketch, guys. So just back at your own risk, I guess. At least go into it knowing hey, if I get a game out of it, it'd be great. But don't give your hopes up. I would hate for you guys. I would hate to steer you guys into a bad deal. Okay. This is Tycho Starport. I haven't covered a 3D printing Kickstarter in a while, but I backed this one, so I figured I'd let you guys know. This is $55, $60 is what I paid for this. I get a ton of different things, and it will be great for Fallout Within Warfare. It'd be great for Infinity. It'd be great for Warhammer. There's a lot of possibility for these. I'm really excited for these. It looks like a great system, by the way. It builds up as a square. The last ones you had to slot in the walls and all that. This one keeps it even more simple, but then has the different ceilings you have. The lock-in system seems good. It's these little notches here. That's pretty much all it is. So it fits in very nicely. It stacks well, stays secure. There's a lot of different doodads you can add to it. Very, very, I got pretty excited for this, to be honest. And the only other thing there are some free samples, by the way, is I didn't end up adding this one. I did add the modular shipping containers. Those look pretty cool. So back to that as well. Okay, what's coming up? Well, Batman Season 3 obviously is coming up. That's going to be huge. That is next month. Again, link down below to all these. It's going to be big. It's doing the RPG. It's doing the miniatures game. And by the looks of it, they're coming in strong. Now, I don't know. I don't know what's coming up. I wish I did. I wish I had a line of sight, but I don't. But I'm excited for it. Next up, we have Waste Knights Beyond the Horizon expansion. This is huge. They finally delivered their original game. I might be able to get that on the channel and show you guys. If so, I'll let you guys know. This is April 26th, so this is coming up soon, and this is the expansion. Any game or any company that delivers what they said they were going to deliver, and then after delivering says, okay, here's some more, props to them. They could have launched this a year ago, but they chose not to. They chose to deliver their game, and I commend them for it, even if it was like super late. And also Euthia, Torment of Resurrection. This is coming out too. You guys know this. I've shown this quite a few times, and they keep adding to this, by the way. So feel free to, I mean, look, there's a ton of stuff available, right? It's a lot. Yeah, this is coming out. It does have a pet class. I'm excited about that. I still need to play it. I have it. I just got the other stuff. I'll be sure to try and unbox that for you guys as well sometime in the future. That's coming on 15 days, by the way. So that's it. That's all I want to cover today. That was long enough. I try to keep these a little bit shorter, a little bit more concise. If you appreciated this info, again, if nothing else, leave a like on your way out. I very much appreciate it. Though, if you did really appreciate it, if you appreciate all the effort I put into these all the time for you guys, there is that, even $1 a month, that Patreon or that join button down below. Thank you so much. Guys, have a wonderful rest of your day. I'll talk to you guys again very, very soon. Take care, guys.